Welcome back to the Content Playbook, or welcome to the Content Playbook, the show that helps you grow, thrive, and stay inspired. I'm your host, Riso2, and today's episode is for the weebs, the cosplayers, the binge watchers, the reviewers, and honestly, anybody who's ever yelled Bankai in their bedroom. We're talking all about how to become an anime content creator. Not just any content creator, but one who stands out, grows a loyal audience, and builds something sustainable. This isn't just a filler episode. It's the ultimate anime creator's guide. Let's get into it. First, let's talk about the why. Why anime? Why now? Well, anime isn't a niche anymore. It's global, it's trending, it's influencing everything from fashion to music to memes. From Demon Slayer breaking box office records to Attack on Titan trending every Sunday, it's everywhere. And with that popularity comes opportunity. Anime content creation isn't just reviews anymore. It's reactions, it's cosplay transformations, AMVs, TikTok skits, deep lore dives, what if scenarios, and even food content inspired by anime shows. Look at creators like Gitku. I'm sorry if I said that wrong. His anime satire and reviews are massive. A Kid Dares deep dives into anime lifestyle and culture. Mother's Basement does expert level breakdowns of openings and animation techniques, and they've built whole platforms just sharing what they love. That's the power of this space. It's flexible, expressive, and super fan driven. Now, let's talk about you. What kind of anime content creator are you trying to be? Do you want to be the hype reactor who screams at every fight scene? Or a thoughtful analyst who breaks down symbolisms in animes like Neon Genesis Evangelion? Maybe you're funny. Maybe you're insightful. Maybe you're a mix. This is where your voice comes in. People like Totally Not Mark is a great example. He blends personal storytelling with deep anime reviews. On the other side, you've got King Vader, who creates high production anime inspired skits that go viral. So ask yourself, what's the emotion you want your audience to feel? Laughing, thinking, crying, over clan again? That answer defines your format and your tone. Do short form TikToks work for you? Or are you all about 10-minute YouTube videos? Remember, your style isn't what you post once. It's what people expect from you consistently. Let's be real. Anime content is everywhere. So how do you grow in a space that is already packed? Tip 1. Timing is everything. Drop your content when hype is high. New episode dropping? Be there with your reaction or your take. Your Jujutsu Kaisen Theory video hits different when the fandom is already buzzing. Tip 2. Use trends, but make them yours. Hop on that One Piece filter or Demon Slayer TikTok sound, but add your spin. People love familiarity with originality. Tip 3. Engage your niche. Get on the Reddit threads, Discord servers, anime Facebook groups. Not to spam, but to build. Tip 4. Collaborate. Find mutuals and do duets, guest appearances, or stitch reactions. It's how creators like the Anime Man and Sea Dog VA blew up, by cross-pollinating audiences. And lastly, be consistent. Not perfect, not daily, just consistent. Now, let's talk money. Can you really earn from anime content? Short answer, yes. Long answer, yes. But you gotta be smart. Revenue stream 1. YouTube ad revenue. But keep in mind, if you're doing reaction videos with full clips, your monetization could be limited. Use cuts, commentary, or blur techniques to stay in fair use territory. Revenue stream 2. Patreon or Ko-Fi. Give supporters exclusive access, uncut videos, or behind the scenes content. This works especially for reaction content and cosplay builds. Stream 3. Affiliate marketing. Sign up for programs with Crunchyroll, Right Stuff, or anime merch stores. Drop those links in your bio and earn on referrals. Stream 4. Brand deals. As your audience grows, brands will come. Think Loot Crate, Octobox, or anime mobile games. Stream 5. Con appearances and panels. If your brand pops enough, cons may book you to speak, perform, or even host events. Bottom line, anime content is a passion with strategy, and it can be a profession. Let's talk about the dark side of content creation. Burnout. Anime drops every week. Trends change, algorithms shift. It's exhausting. So how do you stay inspired? First, take breaks. Your audience will wait if you're transparent and human about it. Second, revisit what made you fall in love with anime. Watch a classic. Reread the first manga. For me, Dragon Ball Z always resets my creativity. Third, try a different format. If you've been doing reviews, try a cosplay skit. If you've been doing a TikTok, do a live stream Q&A. Creativity thrives when it's challenged. Now it's time for the guest segment on our show. We're not going to have one, but two guests on here. So we're going to get advice from two anime content creators. One's been on the show before, so they will be a returning guest, while the other is brand new to the show. Make sure you watch both of them, as they will be back to back, as they give great advice on what you should do as an anime content creator. And let's dive in. All right, and welcome back to the Content Playbook, where we talk about all things content creation. We have our special guest here. She has actually a returning guest. I'd like to introduce yourself.
Hi everyone, it's Black Bulma, Queen of Dragon Ball. We talk about Dragon Ball, everything Dragon Ball.
All right, thank you very much for coming back to the show. I appreciate it.
No problem.
And so let's get an update, because what have you been up to since the last time you've been here?
Just pretty much, covering Dragon Ball Daima, pretty much, trying to play Sparking Zero. I suck at that, but I had to take a little bit of time off because I had got surgery done. So I still had content coming out though, but other than that, I just kind of been, basically working on Dragon Ball content, being Black Bulma, pretty much that. Nothing new. Covering news, things like that.
Because I do follow you on Instagram, Facebook, and everything. I know you was doing a podcast at one point. How's that going?
Well, since I had to kind of take a break from and getting ready for surgery, I haven't really done much with the podcast lately. But since I go back to work tomorrow and everything's kind of going to be kicking back up and returning tomorrow, I'm going to start recording back my podcast episodes. Kind of just letting people know what's been going on with me, just my thoughts on a lot of recent Dragon Ball topics that's been arising. So with the podcast, still pretty good. It's just had to take a little bit of break because, you got to separate the business from the personal sometimes. Sometimes the personal supersedes the business.
Definitely. So let's see. So anything that you've tried other than the podcast, other than the try that you think failed, or something that was succeeded that unexpectedly?
Not that I know of. I've been pretty much doing the same thing. Just kind of, working on my content. Nothing else new that I've explored that I know that has failed or succeeded. Like I said, I've been pretty much doing the same thing for the past couple months because, like I said, I had that little bit of a break. But now that I'm back and recovered, well, not all the way recovered, but, kind of recovered, I'm just ready to jump back into the saddle of being back to content creating and just, getting back right into talking about Dragon Ball and just enjoying it with my fan base.
Yeah, but like you said, you still been, even with the surgery, you still had content coming out. You've been going live on Instagram, so you haven't. Just the surgery hasn't slowed you down too much as far as content creation.
Nah.
So which is a good
thing.
thing.
The thing was I kind of already worked on content prior to my surgery, because it's I still wanted things to be coming out while I was also a lot of people didn't know what content, because Instagram lets you do an auto scheduler. So while content was kind of kicking out, it was just an automatic thing, and I was healing in bed in pain. So I was I don't really want my content to slow down, just because a lot of people no, don't worry about it, we're still here, worry about your health, and I'm while I did prioritize my health, I wasn't working on anything while I was recovering. I pretty much, just kind of, schedule content. When I felt a little bit more live, I did a live updating people, because a lot of people was kind of concerned about my well-being, and I kind of showed people I was in the hospital. So
okay.
Yeah. So.
Well, like I said, I'm glad that you're back. Like I said, I follow you, so it's when you're doing stuff, it's okay, stuff. It's stuff I didn't know that came up. Things. It was with the, especially when you posted, what was it? It was supposed to be a cover for the next arc for Dragon Ball Super, and the fact that it was the wrong arc. And I think it was saying the Moral arc, but that's not the name of the arc. That was supposed to be That's supposed to be animated. I'm trying to think. I'd have to look it up but it was something that you say that's how you know it's fake, because they didn't use the right name.
Oh, I posted I said something like that on Facebook, not on Instagram.
Oh, Facebook. Okay, Facebook. Okay.
Yeah, I'm I know Instagram, but I know Facebook somebody had posted a little movie poster where it was the Moral arc. I'm come on now, the name of the next arc of Dragon Ball Super is not Moral arc, it's the Galactic Patrol something, Galactic Patrol something.
Right. Yeah, that's what it was. But I was just if I don't follow you, I wouldn't have known that. I'll just be oh, it's okay, the Mara arc, because the name of the character that they fight in that arc, which makes sense.
Galactic Patrol Prisoner Saga or something, I think. Yeah, but it's not called the Mara arc. We just call it that because just like we said, the Boo Saga or the Frieza arc or the Cell Saga,
right. So right. So you built a strong audience for your following. How do you maintain it? How do you keep coming? How do you keep people engaged?
I guess because I just I can't really maintain the crazy wild Dragon Ball fans. It's a little bit too chaotic for me sometimes. But what I really mainly focus on is just creating engaging content that I know people will enjoy, and just talk about things that I know people will love and want to come back and enjoy and remember. I try to make content that I know and hope people will remember me for. Every time I post, hope it's people look at my content and remember me for doing this, or remember me for saying that. You know what I mean? Because I work a lot. I work real hard on my content and Black Bulma and everything that I do. So every time I post something, I try to make it something that I know people can see it and they enjoy it and they want to interact with it and they want to share it with their friends or their fellow Dragon Ball fans friends. And so to answer the question, I really just put my all into it, and then hopefully my audience enjoys it, loves it, reacts to it, engages with it, and just remembers me for how hard I work on it.
Definitely, because some people don't realize a lot all the work that goes into being a content creator. The stuff you got to, like you say, you schedule stuff to go out, stuff you get that you
Mm-hmm.
make to come up with. You got to do a lot of research with things,
Yeah.
and some people don't understand that. They think, oh, you're doing this, oh, so you must know a lot of things and just be able to tell right off. And some
Yeah.
people don't know the work that goes behind it. So do
Yeah,
appreciate
that's what
what you
any
do.
content. Oh, thank you. Yeah, that's what any content creator is like. Whether you're doing the minimal thing or you're doing the massive thing, like you're editing YouTube videos or you're, just kind of like, doing what I do. I do a lot of picture editing, so it's still a lot of background work happening where you will kind of like see, a lot of people work hard on what they're putting out to the world, and a lot of people are really ignorant to sleepless nights and long days sitting on CapCut and Canva or whatever and whatever editing software you're using to make your videos and post it. Like a lot of people, regular people, are ignorant to the fact that a lot of content creators work very hard,
Yeah,
like very hard to do the things that we do. So you
yeah,
just hope that people will appreciate it, for what you're doing.
right. Because like you said, it's like I've started recording at 7 o'clock at night. I'll be done editing like at 1 a.m. and don't even realize the time gone by, and then like, oh, I need to get to
Mm.
work tomorrow.
That's how it be. I'm the same. I work a 9 to 5 job. I'm a full time mother, and I'm a full time content creator. So trust me, I understand sleepless nights, long nights, early mornings. Trust me, I've been doing it. November 19th will be 5 years for me with Black Boma, and trust me, it's not a day that goes by where I'm not sitting here. Have been working on content for like several hours, coming up with ideas, scheduling. You gotta do captions. I gotta spread them out. You know what I mean? So it does take a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of dedication, and motivation, and things of that nature. So trust me, I understand.
And that's great, and that's actually great advice for people who looking to do content creation, because so they'll know, like, is this what they want to get into? Because it's not
Hmm.
made for everybody. Some people will go in and they'll be like, okay, I can do this, and then once they realize the work that has to be done, sometimes people just
That's half the
give up.
time when people fail.
Hmm.
That's probably 90% of the point where people fail is when you realize it's not easy. Like when you first start, you do simple content, like say for instance, like you just blogging, like, or say for instance, you just streaming. Streaming, you just put a fucking camera in your face and excuse my language. Sorry, I didn't know if this one of them
Oh, no,
things,
no,
but
you're fine.
okay. But yeah, you just put a camera in your face and you just playing a game and da da da, and you post it, boom. But then you're like, I kind of want to make my content a little bit more sharper. Like I want to buy me a more high quality camera, and I kind of want to start editing parts of my streams. Now you got to become an editor. You got to
Hmm.
sit through like seven hours of you playing Call of Duty or Fortnite or World of Warcraft or Elden Ring or whatever you're playing, and do that. And then it's just like, okay, well, now I want to start posting things on YouTube. So now you gotta go through, make sure you ain't doing no copyright material. So it's like the more and more that you graduate as a content creator, the more and more complex it becomes, because while it might have started off easy where it's like I'm gonna record and I'm gonna post, I'm recording, I'm post. Now you're trying to do more details. Then you gotta make a name for yourself. Then you gotta try to get yourself out there, gain a following, work with people. You know what I mean? And it's like it's a journey.
Yeah, definitely. So, speaking of the journey, when you started the Black Boma, when you started, doing the content creator, did you think about, from when you started until now, how big of a following you would gather?
Absolutely not. It surprises me every day that I have throughout all social media platforms, I'll just say I have hundreds of thousands of people following me. It still shocks me to this day. I never knew, and I always says, I never knew that Dragon Ball would take me as far as I am right now. Like, I never knew, like, so many people would know who I am, or kind of, like, know, like, you know, me as just a Dragon Ball content creator. I met so many cool people, so many nice people, so many people who were kind of just, like, inspired by what I do and things like that, and people I've motivated and kind of put on, and, you know, some people even put me on, you know. So honestly, I never knew that Dragon Ball would, like, take me to this point, or I would have these many people kind of following me and knowing who I am and supporting me. Like, not to say that's not deserved, because like I said, I work really hard, but to get to the point where I am right now and still climbing, no, I didn't picture this for myself. I know I work really hard and I'm very meticulous about the type of stuff that I put out to the world, but I never knew, like, people would enjoy my creativity as much as I do.
Yeah, and it's amazing how many Dragon Ball fans, like, I started with Dragon Ball Z. One of my friends introduced it to me. So it was like, he said, you gotta watch this show. It was, at the time, it only came on Saturdays, and it always ended at what part? Right when Goku landed on Namek. That's when it ended. That's because they didn't make any new dubbed episodes at the time. And that's all I could watch was dubbed. So, like, seeing that stuff that you put out, is like stuff I don't know about Dragon Ball. Because I've only seen the Pilaf arc for Dragon Ball. I know about the other arcs, you know, when fighting the Red Ribbon Army, going through the tournament, fighting King Piccolo, fighting Piccolo Jr. in the tournament arcs, and I know about them, but I don't know about them. It's like because I was like, when I watched Dragon Ball Z, I was like, okay, like, these characters are already established. I need to watch this. I need to find out where these characters come from. How do they already know each other? Because a lot of stuff didn't make sense to me. So for, like, when you put out different things, it's like, or you do your lives when we go, do a Dragon Ball chat, it's like, I didn't know that. Like, these are things that I wish I would have known, which is great coming from, being a content creator, because you have that knowledge, you've done that research. So it helps, especially with, someone who loves Dragon Ball. So,
and that's why I love what I do, because I love the fact that, there's Dragon Ball fans that follow me that haven't watched Dragon Ball in so long, and I kind of help them bring back that little bit of nostalgia that kind of, was in their childhood, that reminds them of their childhood, or even people who didn't know certain things, just my content, just, giving them, like, little tidbits about Toriyama or Dragon Ball, or things that, they didn't really know about. And that's the point. Like, my whole entire goal is just for people to never forget the series, because I respect Akira Toriyama so much as a creator, as a mangaka, as just a person, and his impact in the world. Like, he's literally like a hero to me, because there's so many creative people in this world that I know have, like, impacted the world in ways that you can never imagine. But I just love what Akira Toriyama and many other people who just create things, just can just something that was in your brain, like in your mind, like you put it on a piece of paper, and now probably millions, if not billions, of people either know what it is or just love it. And that's what I respect so much about Akira Toriyama, is that he created something that just impacted the lives of so many children, now adults, now new generation, the generation after that. And, that's what kind of motivates me to do what I do. Like, I don't think I'll ever reach the status of Akira Toriyama, but I just hope that while I'm here, like people just, you know, remember me for how creative I am, and just knowing that I love Dragon Ball as much as I do, and how much it's impacted my life as well as the lives of so many people in the world. So that's the reason why, you know, I feel like um, just leaving some type of legacy. You know what I mean? I feel like that should always be like the goal. Um, so yeah, I think that's a pretty cool thing.
Definitely. So you know, you've gone, like you said, you're going on 5 years, so you've seen algorithm changes, different anime
Uh-huh.
cycles, and audience shifts. So is it hard to stay consistent?
No, I'm not gonna hold you like during my 5 years I've experienced roadblocks. I've experienced like times where I didn't know what to post, or like I feel like my content has kind of been on the lower side, or what some people call shadow banned, I guess. But you know, that's just typical. Like the thing is, like the internet is not guaranteed. I mean, engagement and things like that is not guaranteed for everybody. You know, you're gonna hit roadblocks during your creative process, but you just have to stay consistent. Staying consistent helps with the roadblocks and the way the algorithm changes and the way things changes. You know what I mean? And that's the reason why when people ask me, excuse me, when people ask me for advice about content creating, I'll be like, oh, stay consistent. The first thing I say is like, make sure you're having fun. Like, because the thing about it is like, if you enjoying what you're doing, it don't matter if you get 1 like, 100 likes, 1,000 likes, 1,000,000 likes. You're just gonna enjoy what you're doing. You're gonna enjoy like, dang, like I really worked hard on this. I really made myself laugh in this video, or me and my friends really like did our big one. And then you post it, and then you see the engagement, and or you don't see the engagement, but you just know you posted it, you have fun. Because I don't ever think content is supposed to be so serious.
Right.
The way people try to make it like so serious, like it's a business. Like I mean, you're supposed to like if you get up there, yeah, you need to cover your bases. Like I have an LLC, I have, you know, all types of stuff, so people don't try to create products or things under my name. Um, but in the beginning, it's just really just have fun. Like don't think you gotta sit here and like stress yourself out over content creating. Like content creating can be as simple as you posting the same thing every day to you just talking about your life. You know what I mean? It don't really gotta be as serious as people kind of make it out to be. So that's why I was like, staying consistent is cool, yes, but you can be consistently miserable. You can be, you know, making posts and like, oh my god, like I gotta sit here and edit this video. I'm like doing this, like this is getting on my nerves. Like if you're sitting here making content and you're dreading it, and it's just so like such a horrible experience for you, or you're just like bored and this sucks, do not continue. Like find something else to do. You know what I mean? So I think that the first priority should be, as far as staying consistent, cool is, but you gotta make sure you're enjoying what you're doing. Because if you already work like a 9 to 5 job you hate, don't try to be creative or be a content creator and also do more things that you hate just because you see some people making the big bucks, or you want to have the 100,000 followers, or you want to have the engagement and the popularity. Like it's not worth it if you're miserable.
Oh, definitely. Because I think that was one of the points I had when I started, because I actually started this podcast under a different name in 2022. But it was like once life started, it was like life just hit me like real hard at the time, and I did one interview and then I stopped. But it was like, I was like, if I'm gonna do this, I need to be prepared. I need to be ready. I need to be focused. And it took till last year. It'll be a year in June that I started back. So
okay,
so it's like that's why I understand. Like it's like that's what I didn't want. I didn't want to hate what I was doing, and
right.
And that's why I was like, I need to let me just take a break, no matter how long it takes to get this, to get this out properly.
And there's nothing wrong with that. Like, you don't really, there be people that's like, shoot, like 60, 70 years old making content. Like, they don't got no age limit, no time limit, no nothing. You make content when you want to make it, but you got to make sure that it's something that you're enjoying, something that you make sure that you're having fun, and make sure it's something that you know when you're putting your name on it, your remark, your title, whatever you want to call it, you just know like you put everything you wanted into it and that you enjoy it and that you love it.
Definitely. So 2025, any big things coming for Black Boma this year? Any like going into comic conventions or doing anything special?
Yeah, I'm actually going to be going to DreamCon. I'll be at DreamCon, I think it was May 29th to June 2nd. I'll be there. I'm going to try to make it to KameyaCon. I think that's like June 13th to the 15th. I don't remember. But I'm not going to hold you. I never really had like any like big plans for Black Boma. Like, I don't ever be like, oh, 2025, like I got this project going and that project going. Like, I really just I get up every day and just work on content. And it just be things sometimes that pop up, and I don't know. I don't ever really have like things planned like, oh, I plan on. But if I do have something that I want to like eventually do with Black Boma, I definitely like work on it, plan on it. But right now, I'm in this like mode of like, if it's not broke, don't fix it. Mm-hmm. And it's like I've been like for the past 5 years, I've been like experimenting with like how I want BB to look. And now that I have like a solid thing going, I kind of want to stay consistent with that. And then I'll try to explore like new ventures and try to do new things. But right now I'm more on this like steady, mellow pace of doing what I'm doing right now. And then once I'm, comfortable, then I'm going to move on to the next step of like what I feel like I should do with Black Boma. But for right now, I don't really have like I don't have no big projects coming. Like, I do have collabs with like certain people, creators, companies, like, that's just like, those are just promo. But other than that, like, I don't have, as far as like any like projects or big developments for people, I don't have like nothing planned so far.
Okay. All right. So, just bonus question here: sub or dub? I don't know if I asked you that before. For anime, sub or dub?
Oh, I'm a dub watcher. I watch anything in dub. I don't ever preference sub because number one, my main language is English, so I like to listen to things in English. You know what I mean? Like, the only time I'll ever watch anything in sub is if it's like I really do not feel like waiting for the dub to come out, and I've been like waiting forever for something to come out. Like, say for instance, like with Attack on Titan, or like when I was watching Promise Neverland, like I was waiting for that to come out. It started out in sub. But like, yeah, like I will go to the dub immediately. I'm definitely a dub watcher.
All right. Well, I do thank you once again for coming back onto the show. Tell people where they can find you.
I am literally glad. Listen, if you have heard of Dragon Ball, you have heard of me. I've been doing this way too long for you not to know who Black Boma is. My content has been everywhere. But if you haven't heard of me, I am a Black woman who loves talking about Dragon Ball, BLVCK, BULMAA on all platforms: Facebook, Instagram, X, YouTube, Threads, Twitch. Black Boma everywhere. I have my own website, blackboma.com. Literally, that's it. And, check me out. You know what I mean? All my content is free to look at. You ain't gotta pay no paywalls, no nothing. Just support me if you love Dragon Ball. And, Dragon Ball forever.
Definitely. All right. Once again, thank you for coming.
Thanks for having me.
All right, and welcome back to the Content Playbook. Riso2 here once again with another amazing guest about anime content. He's a great anime content creator. I was just actually introduced to him by another person that was on here, Black Boma. Right. Shout out to Black Mama. If you'd like to introduce yourself and tell about your what content you create.
Well, my name is Destiny Brushes. Some know me as Darian Bennett. I am an anime comedian. I am a comedian all around, but I focus most of my opinions and teasing on anime. I am Dragon Ball Glazer. I am a Dragon Ball stan. And my favorite character is Vegeta.
All right. All right. Well, thank you once again for being on the show. I appreciate you coming, having the time to sit and talk with us.
No problem. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
No problem. So first off, let's start with the basics. What got you into anime content creation?
So I've always been somebody who liked anime. I've always been somebody who was into anime. A lot of people know about it and some people don't. I was incarcerated for a long time. I was incarcerated for like 14 and a half years. I came home in 2022, I believe. Yeah, in 2022 I came home after doing that time, and I was doing art at the time. Only thing I was really doing was visual art. I was a painter. I was doing portraits and stuff like that the entire time. I actually got I would say like it was like almost like it feels like locally, because it was like people that I knew around me and that were very close to me knew me from doing visual art. And that's just, what I was known for until when I came home. I kind of feel like I had reached my peak for it. First of all, my peak in interest, but also I had took it pretty far. I was getting mentioned in a lot of different things and publications and stuff. And then I was trying to find out what was my passion. And I kept, looking and I felt like my passion was yapping, like talking. I like to talk. And then that gradually became I like to talk, I like to do comedy. People started saying, "Hey, you're funny." So I was like, "Oh, I'm funny. Okay, cool. I guess I'm funny. Let me look into this." And I realized I am pretty funny. I was like, "Oh yeah, I'm hilarious." Right? So I kept going with that. And then I was like, I want to join things that I actually like, because I was talking and making fun of things that I kind of liked. And then anime was the thing I realized I liked the most, and I talked about the most, and I enjoyed the most, and I focused on the most. So that's how I ended up with that. And yeah, I love it.
All right. Well, it sounds like you found your niche for what you want to do, and it's amazing that you was able to pretty much get that quickly. Like you said, after you got out. So that's really good. So when you started out, what was the biggest challenge that you faced, and how did you overcome?
Well, it didn't feel quick because we had 3 years now. 3 years of me doing it. And was it that you said what was the hardest things, or?
Yeah, your biggest challenge that you faced.
Okay, my biggest challenge that I faced was, I would say my biggest challenge was finding what I wanted to do. I feel like was my biggest challenge. Finding what I wanted to do, and also, pretty much that. I think it was really just finding what I wanted to do, because this whole thing is like, when you really realize that literally, I'm one of those people that break things down to its core, and that's how I understand stuff the most. And I've simplified everything. So when I was learning Spanish, I learned Spanish when I was in prison, and I was like, all right, what is this at its core? And I went and I broke it down. I'm like, all right, at its core, it's learning a bunch of different words and like collecting them. Like, you just collect words.
Excuse me.
Bless you. It's you just collect words, and then there's these harder words because there's a formula for those words, right? Not to get too heavy into it, but it's like verbs change a lot. You gotta get those down pat. Everything else is just collecting. So I was like, oh, okay, I got this. And then that's understanding that's the easy part, and then actually doing it and sticking with it and, continuing with it is the more difficult part because of yourself and discipline. Same thing with this. Not same exact thing, right? You're not collecting words, but this whole thing with content creation literally is just post stuff. The hardest thing for most people is overcomplicating it in their mind of, that it's not, like, there are people that literally just post the same post over and over and over and over again. And they're not going to get that much out of it, but they get a bunch of followers. They run the page up because of how many people end up seeing that page because of how much they post. So that, was nothing. It was just, you start to kind of get stuck in like, yo, what do I want to do? But now that I've done it, I learned that really doesn't matter that much. It's like, you'll figure it out along the way. Just go. And then continue to go. Like, you don't have to have the answer as much. I would compare it to like when you know that you want to go somewhere. It's probably just best to get out the house and just get out. Rather than sitting and waiting and figuring it out, because by the time you finally do figure out and then go, it's nighttime. The day's over, right? But if you go, if you don't have a plan, that sucks. But guess what? You'll figure it out along the way. And at least then you've done something by the time it hits nighttime. That's it. This is that same type of thing.
Right. I definitely understand, because it was the same when I started this podcast. I had to, when I started it, I originally started it in 2022, and I had literally one episode before I decided. I was like, I don't have time to do this. I don't have the direction I'm going in, anything. Fast track to last year in the summer, it was like, okay, because I started going to school in April of last year, was in media, found out, okay, now I know what I want to do. Now I know how I want to do it, how I want to present it. End up changing the name of the podcast, changing the whole structure of how I was doing the podcast in order to, it's like, and I was like, I just had to, like you said, just had to go. And then I got 8 episodes under me. By August, I had at least 8 episodes done. I was like, okay. Then I got in that rut. And then, of course, life be lifing. So it was like, okay, but I need to get back to it. I know what I want to do, know how I want to do it. Once again, I found, better branding ideas. So, and like you said, it's about putting out posts. So I was like, I figured out, okay, I can put this out, put this little short clip. It's like, get my face out there more. And so, it's like the stuff that I've seen on your stuff. Like when you said, it's like you only have 3 days until the new One Piece came out. you had to watch all the episodes of One Piece before the new episode started. I was like, see, that's really good. I was like, that's stuff like that that needs to be done.
Yeah. So. Oh no, I was joking. I did not do it.
I know. There was no way you was gonna be able to do it.
Yeah, I did not.
Now with all them episodes, I can't. I'm trying to get into One Piece. I can't never get past the first episode. And I don't know why. It's like I tried it when it first came out, when it was on TV, and then I tried it again when I got access to Crunchyroll, and then I just tried it again last year because it was on Hulu. I was like, I'll give it a try. I didn't get past the first episode.
One Piece is one of those stories that, like, it takes a lot of building for one. 2, it's not like One Piece. It feels like one of those things where it doesn't care about you being there. So it's like it's moving at its own pace. It's doing its own thing. It's not trying to appease to the fans. There's no flash. There's no crazy powers or ridiculous fan service. The women, like the characters, especially, like, this is very rare that you would see where characters, and especially women, like, aren't really drawn. Like, to me, it's weird when somebody says to me, like, that they almost, like, because people got these things where they're like, I that's my wife, or I like that character, I'm attracted to that character. When people do that with a One Piece female, I'm always like, bro, you're down bad for real. Like, that doesn't even look like a person. Like, it's like the way this stuff is drawn, it's not very realistic. It's
Yeah.
the proportions, everything looks weird. So if you're sitting there like, "Ooh, I kissed," "Oh, I need," "Oh, Nami," I'm like, "What?" Like, like weird. It's so weird to me because the characters look weird. So that whole thing is it's just like it's very different. It's very different. And it just doesn't seem like it's trying to bring you in. So with One Piece, I think that if you're not already into that and you want to watch it, like because me, it's like I want to watch it for the sake of like I feel weird saying I'm an anime fan and I haven't watched One Piece. So I want
same.
Yeah, like I want to get it. I want to get into it, even though it's like clearly people are telling you it doesn't get good until like episode 1455. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I'm trying. I would say what worked for me is the way I started One Piece is I watched the live action. I watched the live action, which condensed a lot of stuff very quickly. Boom, right? And it was good. I watched that. It summed up it's a good adaptation because it covered a lot of stuff. And then I started from where it left off instead of starting from the beginning. I started, and I don't watch it. I read it.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to get back. I'm trying to get into reading mangas because I got a couple of them. Like I got the first issue of Attack on Titan, Demon Slayer.
I just read it on my phone.
And yeah, I gotta do that too. But I got those three. I was like, I got three of them. I was like, I want to start reading manga. I want to start because there's a lot of stuff that the anime leaves out that's in the manga, and when I hear people talk about it, I was like, I really need to read this.
Yeah, time is a real thing, man. We adults, so I just only time I read manga is when the anime is like either taking too long, has slow pacing, like One Piece, or when it hasn't been animated, right? Something like that. I'm not going back to go read a manga after I already watched the show. Like once I got the story, I got the story. Because the things that are left out are like small. The only thing that I would say that I've ever seen where I'm like, bro, you gotta read that instead of watching it, or read it and you watched it, is Solo Leveling. Because Solo Leveling leaves so much out of the manga. You gotta go read that.
Okay, yeah, Solo Leveling is on my list to watch, so that'll be the next anime. I keep trying to watch new anime, but I find myself going back to other anime that I've already watched.
Yeah,
and like I'm going back through My Hero Academia.
Yeah,
because I keep forgetting where I left off. So I was like, let me just start over. I can get through it easily because it can binge because I don't have to sit there and watch it because I know the episodes by now.
My Hero.
So it's like
on my top 5, man.
Yeah. When it first came out, I was like, oh yes, this is yes. Okay, I'm gonna sit there. We'll actually get, which I won from another content creator, Bakudo action figure. So. See, I love that. That's awesome. I gotta improve my anime collection because it's like because it's anime for me. It's anime and Star Wars. So it's like my Star Wars collection's a little bit bigger. But for like with anime, I mostly have I have VHS. I have some I got DVDs and shirts and stuff. So it's like I got that, but I have no room for nothing.
Yeah.
Like I have no shelf space for nothing. I got with my Star Wars stuff, I got stuff that's in this corner here. Show you real quick. Like I got this big Darth Vader.
That's fire.
So it's but I have no room for nothing around here. So it's like I want to get stuff, but it's like I want to wait until I get a bigger space. So
listen, it'll work. It'll work out.
Yeah. So let's continue. So what piece of advice would you give someone who's starting their anime content journey?
Just create. I would tell them, I would be like, just create. I would literally just tell them, So when I was a painter, I would like if I was telling somebody who was a painter, I would tell them just draw, just paint, and not even worry about like anything at all. You get so good at anything by just doing it. Like they wouldn't even have to teach you basketball. You go outside and you play basketball for a year straight, you will be good. And it could be by yourself. If we're like, yo, where's he at? He was outside playing basketball. He's been doing that for a year. You're going to be good. Because there's things that you're just going to figure out. And then, and you've seen that with so many situations where somebody's not traditionally taught. And then, they get traditionally taught and then they get that boost. Everybody, I have this friend and we used to talk about it all the time because we had different personalities. And I used to tell him, I said, you're the guy who's at the pool and you gotta test the pH balance and you gotta like see what the temperature is and then you gotta check to see the last time it was cleaned, and it's like, bro, I'm just jumping in. And when I first came home, there was a lot of people who were telling me like, I gotta do this, I gotta do that, I gotta wait, I did not listen. I came home and blew like $400 straight out of somebody else's money too. It wasn't even my money. I felt bad. Blew like $400 to $500 on a Shopify shop for art and never used it. Like wow. I started it and then I was like, I don't know if I can't even understand this thing, and never used it. It's like, and I learned from that, but it was like I did something. So many people were like, hey, take it easy a little bit. Oh, you gotta wait for this. Oh, you gotta wait for that. Oh, I get all of that. I am not that person. Like, let's go. Let's do stuff. Go. I had videos where I made it and it was too long. Guess what? Somebody in the comments was like, yo, your video's kind of long. You should probably bring it down to like 40 seconds. Because if it's longer than 40 seconds, people ain't gonna watch it. I never ever heard from that dude ever again. But guess what? All of my videos are 40 seconds and less now, and that's been a big part of why I've been successful. How did I figure it out? I made a bunch of videos that were like a minute and a half long, and somebody finally said something to me. It's just do it. Just go.
And that's a big thing. It's like when people will try to, and it's how you take it too. Because a lot of people give you advice, and it's like if they're trying to give you advice, but then you take it the wrong way. Like you could have took that saying like, oh, your video's too long, shorten it down. You could have took that out a totally different way.
Yeah, and a lot of people do. I was talking to because me and Boma are on like live a lot on any of my. She shows me like a lot of love, and it's crazy because when I first came home, there was a bunch of people I followed. I tell her this story, and it's like it bugs out. There's a bunch of people that like you follow on social media. You're checking out their stuff and everything. And it was Tony Saravici, it was Relio, it was can't remember the other guy's name right now. Oh, Alex Hormozy, and it was Black Boma. That'd probably be about it. Maybe one other person. Oh, and Bad Blur Bay. So I followed, them, checking out their content. I'm trying to learn what social media is. And it's like, now I'm talking to her and making content and doing like these podcast type lives and having these conversations like every day. And now she's telling you, hey, you should do an episode with Destiny Brushes. So like that's like a crazy thing to me. First of all, I just wanted to mention is how that goes, because literally last year I didn't like know her. I was just following the page. So it's crazy to like be in this position now. And great. And I'm so happy and grateful for people like that are able to help me out and I learn from. But we were having a conversation, to get back on topic, we were having a conversation about how we're doing this whole like content thing. A lot of times people make things harder than they gotta be, and it's really just like make the content, just make the content and also be consistent with it.
Yeah. And that's what I try to hone in a lot when I do at the end when I do my wrap up for the show is about consistency. Is make sure you post, but don't get burned out. And because that's why I tell at the end, it's like I need don't get burned out. Like you put your stuff out, but don't make it to where you don't like it anymore.
And another thing that came up in conversation, just like what you were saying, is she was saying how I was saying to her how it's crazy how certain people won't want to take advice from certain people, just like you were saying with how I could have taken it the wrong way. She was saying how some people don't want to listen to, because she's a female content creator, some people don't want to listen to a female telling you stuff, or they don't want to be schooled by a female telling you stuff, because she knows a lot about Dragon Ball, knows way more than me, and
me too.
People don't want to know a lot about it more than a lot of us, but like people won't want to listen. And I was talking about how I feel like a big part of my success is that doesn't get in my way. Like, she's younger than me. There's a lot of people who are younger than me. Bad Blur Bay is younger than me, and Bad Blur Bay has schooled me on a lot of stuff. I don't know about, like, I was gone, so I don't know about a lot. I wasn't even home when Instagram was a thing, when they created it. There's so much social media to know about, but you have people who will get like stuck up and not want to listen to people because they're younger or because they're a woman, and it's like, bro, you're cutting yourself off from information.
Right. it's ridiculous because like you said, like until it was the summer last, I had just started following Black Boma when I decided to when I was redoing this podcast. Like I had just started following her, and I was like, I took a shot. I was like, I did an episode. I was doing an episode on anime, but I focused on Dragon Ball. Being a Dragon Ball anime content creator. So, and I was like, I reached out to her. She was live one time. I messaged her, said, I'd like to get you on my podcast. She said, sure, send me an email. Sent the email. It took a minute, but we finally coordinated a schedule to where she was on there. And it was like, and I was grateful for that because she has so many followers. She could have easily been like, nah, I don't do podcasts. Like, nah, I don't know what your podcast is. But she gave me a chance. It was like, so that was like, this is great. It's like, this is somebody I want to get back on the show, and which I did. She'll be on, and she's on this episode too. So it's like when people don't listen, like you said, like people don't want to take advice. It's like, and I had another conversation with her after we finished the initial interview about just talking about Dragon Ball. Because it's like I told her, when Dragon Ball started, I started with Z. I didn't start with OG Dragon Ball. And I told her, I said, there was a lot I did not know going in. It's like, okay, I don't know none of these characters. How do they know each other already? Blah, blah, blah. But it's like you said, you got to listen. You got to take advice from people especially people that's been doing it longer than you.
Yeah.
And like you don't know what they know, and what they know can help you out.
I told her a story about a friend of mine who he got 3 baby mothers. He know a lot about women, man. Like I'm a glass half full kind of person, right? So when you say to me, like, somebody would be like, he got 3 baby mothers, and be like, yo, man, he a dog, he this, he that. I'm like, he know a lot about women. Like, he knows that situation of having a baby mother way more than the guy who has 1 baby mother. So when he was talking, I would listen to him, because it's like, I had got locked up when I was 20 years old. It's like, man, I hadn't even lived. I hadn't even done anything. And then you got this guy who, he has 3 baby mothers, and also it's like he's in his 20s, and it wasn't his first time being locked up. He had lived at home. He knows a lot. This guy was homeless before. Like, he knows a lot. So I would sit down and I would listen to him, and I'm 4 years older than him, but he knew more than me because he had lived more, he had been through more, and there's so many people who would get, and I know who would get, like, you know, they wouldn't show it, but they're not going to listen to him. but then they're not even gonna come to him and humble themselves to find out information. Man, I had some problems. I had a problem with a girl. I came to him like, yo, bro, what do you think about this? And he used to, and he's such a like a humble guy that it's not like he's pushing that in your face that he knows these things. He would just be like, hey, this is what you gotta do. And he knows that in certain situations, like when it comes to this, I know more than him. Like when we was dealing, I'm really good with networking. I'm really good with stuff that like concerns career and everything. So whenever I was doing things, it was like he would listen to me even before I came home, because it's like, but I was in jail and like on YouTube, like videos because of interviews and stuff like that, because of art. Or right before I left, I was they did an article on me in the New Yorker. Like, so it's like clearly I do that. So it's like he would listen to me in that field, but that's how it's supposed to work. You're gonna know more than me about something, and I'm gonna know more than you about something. Don't matter how old we are. Don't matter what gender we are. But so many people get caught up in that, and that's why they stay where they at. And then they complain, and it's so funny because so many people will walk around the world having pity parties and getting pity for things that they don't have. And there's a lot of people that listen to that, but my analytical self is sitting there like, man, you don't have that because you won't shut up, or you won't have that because you know, you walk around
your narrow view
all day. Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's like there's reasons. Everything is like a mathematical freaking equation. This plus this equals this. So if that person don't got that, you may not see it, but they're missing something, and they're probably the reason why it's missing. You know? So for me, I just try to make sure that I'm not adding to my own sorrow, you know?
Right. Yeah, like everybody got a journey, but if you got to choose what path you're gonna take, and you got to choose what you're gonna listen to, and if you're gonna take people's advice, and like you say, you can't sit there in sorrow. You gotta be able to do stuff. It's like you said earlier, let's do it. If you don't take that leap, you're not gonna go anywhere.
Yeah.
You're gonna stay stagnant, and you're not gonna grow.
Pretty much. It's like you didn't ask this question yet, but and this might be the second biggest challenge with content. I teach my daughter this. Anytime something's going wrong, find out what you're doing wrong. People love to like point the finger, and sometimes you don't realize you're pointing the finger. What are you doing wrong? And that's what you should focus on. And once you fix that, you literally fix the problem most of the time. Like most of the time, because you can't control everything else. But when you find out what it is that you're doing wrong, that's all you can do is fix all the stuff you're doing wrong before you focus on somebody else. So like, right. I've one of the things I did before I was doing this was coaching with content, because I had learned a lot about it. I had studied like a whole lot about like social media, so I knew a lot and was able to coach on it. So I'm talking to people, and people's number one thing, and I did it too, was like, oh, the algorithm. Oh, it's this, it's that, it's this. So I had found something one day that was literally just talking about, it was Alex Hormozi actually, and he wasn't even talking about content. He was just talking about like being like selling a product, period. And he said, all right, I had bought his book, and he said in the book, he said, like, your whole job should be serving other people. How do you serve people? And then making sure that you serve them very, very well. You won't have to worry about anything else. But as long as you're thinking about yourself and thinking about like, I want people to like this. It's like, bro, why would they like it? So I started thinking about that. Okay, I'm posting like drawings that I was doing. But why should people like this? Just to like ask yourself that question about your own content. Why do people like this? Well, what service do you satisfy with your content? Because at the end of the day, the person that's looking at it is basically a customer. And when they come through, how am I servicing them? And what am I doing for them? Bulma has a page, and her page is giving information and content to it's like Dragon Ball news page. So people are coming there to get their news. That's why they follow the page. That's why they're satisfied by it. That's why I follow it, because I'm like, oh, I heard that. Now I know something new. So her business is serving you with news. Same thing as how like mine is comedy. You want to laugh, you come to their page every now and then. I'm giving you news. You're finding out new things. You're finding about a new anime you didn't know. So I need to know more. I also need to make you laugh and entertain you. So I'm an entertainment page. Comedy, you laugh. Boom. So that's how I serve you. But you have so many people and they'll post something and it's almost like, post, like it. Like, why? Like, why? What do you serve to people for them to them like this? And then people get mad, like, oh, and now this is the part where you focusing on the other person. Oh, they didn't like it. Okay, yeah, but so whose fault is that? Oh, well, this is, the algorithm and da. Bro, you're pointing the finger at something that you can't even like grasp. You don't even know if it exists. Like, you don't even know the way it works. Fix your part first. What do you bring to the table? Well, I do art. Okay, so why should people like that? Because I do good art. Bro. It's like, you know what I mean? And that was what I had to answer, because literally I was posting stuff and being mad that people didn't like it. But it's like, why should they like my art? They don't know me. They like, there's a bunch of art all over the place. Why should they care? Once I started focusing on me and what I was doing and how I should be serving people, because I should be serving them, it changed things.
Yeah, and that's definitely a big part, because that is what I did. It was like, okay, I gotta figure out this algorithm. I gotta figure out what am I not doing? What am I not like, you know what? I'm not gonna worry about the algorithm. Like, I'm gonna put my stuff out. People like it, they like it. If they don't, they don't. People will follow me if they want to, and or whatnot. It's like I had to get myself in that mindset, because it was like because I'm thinking like, oh, nobody's gonna like me if I don't do this, if I don't do that. But it's like, this is me. This is what I'm gonna do. This is how I'm presenting my stuff to people, and if they once again, they like it, they like it. Like, they're gonna share it. People are gonna follow, and I gotta grow from there. I just keep doing what I'm doing, and the algorithm will work in my favor, because people will like it. I'm posting content enough to where, I was like, we need to show more of this person, because they're getting a lot of views. It's like that's a lot of people. What people don't is like, oh, I got to figure out the algorithm. I got to figure out how to get 1 million followers in 3 days.
The best thing a person can ever do for themselves as a content creator is get that word and that concept and that idea completely out of their head. Don't ever say the word algorithm. Don't ever think about the algorithm. It doesn't exist. Like, that's the best thing a person can do for themselves, because you're concerned about something that you don't know how it works. You don't know when it changes. You don't even know if it exists. They told you. You've never seen it. It's like, you know what I mean?
Are you gonna see it?
Yeah, it's like it makes no sense to be concerned about that at all. It just the only thing that you can control is the stuff that you make, and like I said, once I started actually being concerned about the consumer and thinking about the consumer rather than thinking about myself, it changed things. Like, hey, okay, who do I want to serve? Who do I want to like this? I got in my head, and because they do that with business, of actually knowing your target audience, and not even the target audience, person, so specific to like, who is the person, the specific archetype of person that I want to like this. This is the person I want. Okay, I can envision him. This is what I want. He would like this. Boom. Okay, cool. Now, what does he want? How can I serve this person? What is the type of stuff that he likes? What is the type of music? What is it? And now you're serving that specific person. And now that specific person exists in droves, right? So now you focused on that, and now you're serving that person. You're no longer focused on yourself. It's like, how do I serve this guy, girl, whatever, right? That's the most important thing. Now you're not worried about the algorithm anymore. That's a real person that you, instead of trying to hack the system, you actually focus on a person out there and serving him, and that's what's more important.
Right. And that's what I get. That's the mindset I got into. Is like when I rebranded, I was like how can I help somebody? Like there's a lot of content creators out there who are established, but some still struggle. And there's people that want to do content creation, but they don't know how to get there. Perfect. I'm gonna focus on that person that wants to improve their content, that needs advice on doing their content, to start their content. So I was like, I'm focused. That's where my focus it started to be. It's like, okay, you want to be a content creator? Here's what you need to do. You want to be, and then that's why I break down into specifics of like, you want to be an anime content creator. Oh, you want to be a movie content creator. You want to be a reaction content creator. This is what you need to do. This is how you need to follow.
You know what's crazy? And this is wild, like, kind of, because a lot of people will probably like be annoyed by this, but like, it'll change like the entire business for anybody that sees this. But you know how people are like paying money to like people and they know too. But the biggest expert is not, and the biggest person who knows and has the knowledge of this whole thing is not the coach that's on YouTube that's like that's like this and everything. Like it's mad funny because the video always starts like this. Do you want to go viral on social media? Do you want to? I want to tell you how I got 4 million followers in 90 days. It's not that guy, right?
Right.
It's your freaking niece, or your daughter, or it's whoever grew up with whatever app it is, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like literally somebody has a niece or a daughter or a nephew or a little cousin who is just free information. Like my daughter one day came to me. I was doing like, social media or whatever. I was doing everything I was doing for a while. And she just came to me and said, hey, you should do this. And if you do this, bye. Like she literally was going viral for like she was going viral and just throwing it away. Like she was doing it, and then I'm like, I saw like her page, and I saw one of her pages. I was like, yo, why are you not like doing it? She's like, because for a lot of them, their block is that they don't it's the same thing that we kind of went through as kids, where it's like they are worried about how people look at them. So. Mm-hmm. They could probably get like famous off of it and like make a lot of money, but the thing is they're more worried about how they're going to be perceived by their friends and stuff like that. So they care more about that. So literally like almost all of them know how to do it and could do it very well and just boom and blow up. The same thing we're trying to do to like, actually have a job for, they could actually do it and it'd be nothing to them. So she came to me and just like throw away information. I would have paid somebody so much money for this. She just came and was like, oh, you could just do that and that'll work for you. I did it and literally like went viral probably like a bunch of times, and it just like became the foundation. And I was like, and I came and I was like, yo, thank you. I like appreciate that. And she's like,
yeah, it was nothing.
I was going places. I mean, I didn't get that advice from any thing that I like course I took or nothing. She just told me it for free, randomly, one day, just sitting next to me watching TV.
And that's the craziest thing. Like you'll get the best help from unexpected places. Like
it's crazy because it's unexpected, but it is actually expected. It's like she grew up with it.
Mm-hmm. Right, but it's like oh, like you said, you like, oh, I can pay this person this amount of money, and okay, I'll do it. But then you get the help from, like you said, your daughter, and it helps you a lot more than what you just paid for.
Yeah, but I mean, when you really think about it, it would make more sense. Like,
right,
it's almost like wherever you're from, wherever you grew up at, it would be like me going to a tour guide, you know, who's like an expert in that area, and then you actually live there. Like, I should ask you.
Right.
I should ask you, and not the guy who, like, he gets paid, you know, to do tour spots and stuff like that. You know, you're gonna know more about it than that guy. But sometimes our brains don't automatically go there. We go, nah, this guy, he's got commercials, he looks official, but it's like you actually live there. So I gotta go to you and find out. But that's, you know, that's how the brain works sometimes, man.
Definitely. All right, thank you very much. I do appreciate your time being around, sticking around, answering all the questions. So where can people find you, and you know, what's your handles and everything on social media?
Destiny Brushes on everything. DESTNY brush, as in hairbrush, Z. Destiny Brushes on everything. Every platform, every single platform. You know, or you put in Darian Bennett, it's gonna take you there. Every single platform, Destiny Brushes. People ask me so much. I'm always like baffled by that, because I literally like will follow somebody and then boom, I go look for the same name everywhere else. I don't even like somebody will literally be on my live on TikTok or some other app and be like, hey, you got a YouTube? I'd be like, bro, you didn't try to go put in Destiny Brushes somewhere and then just find it there. I don't, maybe I'm just not to that level yet where people are just like, you know, let me just do it and not ask it. They probably just be assuming. They'd be like, man, he ain't moving like that yet.
I mean, I do that. I was like, I find you on like one platform. Okay, let me see what other platform you're on, and then if I'm on that platform too, it's like, okay, let me go ahead and give you a follow. I did that with Black Boom. I said I found her on Instagram. I don't even know how I found her. She just showed up randomly one day with Dragon Ball information. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool.
Oh, that's your algorithm. That's when that word actually, like, where you should actually pay attention. That's what that is. That's you already was looking at Dragon Ball stuff. You looked at something, or you liked something that was Dragon Ball, or you commented on it, and then it was like, oh, this is what you like? Boom, here's more of it.
Right. And that was what I was like, because I keep thinking like I don't even know like when I just found it was random. I was like, oh, like I was just talking about Dragon Ball. Okay, like, follow, and then look for it everywhere else. It's like,
the crazy thing is that's the part of the algorithm that people ignore. People would be like, oh, they think about the algorithm only as like affecting them and like, you know, pushing their content out to like everybody for whatever reason. And it's like, bro, I would tell people they go and post and they put 47 hashtags on they post, and it's like, oh, the algorithm. Like, bro, algorithm don't know where to send you. They don't.
It's too many.
Yeah, they
don't. Too many hashtags. What? Who's gonna follow this?
They have no idea where to send you, because you put hashtag art, hashtag love, hashtag believe in yourself, hashtag black, hashtag Wisconsin. Like, bro, what's this? Those are directions. Where are they supposed to send this?
Yeah, definitely is. All right. So once again, thanks for being here. I do appreciate your time.
No problem, man. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
All right. Thank you. All right. This season is going to be an interactive segment where on my Instagram and Facebook, I'll ask any of your listeners questions regarding that week's episode that will be coming up. And earlier, this is the new season, and I'm just now introducing this. I asked some of my content creator friends a question, and I'd like to give you the responses. So my question to them was, what's the anime that made you want to start content creating? First one said Tokyo Ghoul. The vibes, the aesthetics, the music. I had to make edits. Next person said Naruto. I started doing skits because of him. He made me believe in myself. And the last person said, My Hero Academia inspired my cosplay journey. I started with Deku, and now I've done over 20 characters. Now, Let me know what inspired you to want to do content creation, especially anime content creation. So I want you to keep those answers coming and tag me on Instagram and Facebook at The Content Playbook. And your response might be featured on another episode, or I might do it on a YouTube short or a reel. So make sure that you keep those coming in. And that wraps it up for this episode of The Content Playbook. And I'd like to thank both our guests for joining us today. And I'd like to leave you with a little inspiration. Whether you're reviewing anime, creating cosplay, or making jokes on TikTok, your voice matters. There's room for you in this space. There's an audience that's waiting. And most of all, there's a creator in you that deserves to be heard. This isn't just a filler episode. This is your call to create. I've been Riso2, and this has been The Content Playbook. Stay inspired and stay creative. I'll talk to you next time.